So that's my main aim, is to not be very funny at all, so that you can enjoy the comedians. I know normally... So far, so good. So far, so good. Do you want to come and answer? That's good, that's good. Yeah, so instead of boring the socks off you, I want to invite our first comedian to the stage. He's come all the way from Grafton. He's brought his son, who's also going to perform a little bit later. Mr. Bob Walker.
Well, good evening. Are there any rich widows here tonight? Just to throw that out there? Oh, there is. I took up comedy only a couple of years ago because all my life I had a really bad stutter. If you've seen The Voice this week, that boy that got on that had a stutter, well, I was 10 times worse than him. My name was blah, 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 blah. It was an absolute shocker. But as I grew up, I realised that it's something you live with. We all have faults, and a lot of famous people have had a stutter. The King George IV, the one that made the movie about, Mr. Bean, me of course. And also a lady on the train the other day told me that Noah had a stutter. How she knew, I don't know, but apparently Noah had a stutter, and I felt really sorry for him. It must have been tough standing at the top of the gangplank there going two, blah, 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 two all day. That's a shocker. Anyway, I've come up from Grafton tonight. I travelled to Mullumbimby and Byron Bay to normally do my comedy, so this was a short trip actually. So, and recently I went to Grafton Library and I asked the librarian for a bit of a stir. I said, "Do you have 50 Shades of Grey?" And I was really surprised by her answer, and she said, "Yes, we do. We have one copy, and we have 31 people waiting to read it." I thought, wow, 31 horny women in Grafton. But I was more surprised that there was 31 women in Grafton that could read. So, no one's from Grafton here tonight, I take it. And the librarian said to me, she said, "Do you want your name on the list?" And I said, "Look," I said, "you've got a list of 31 horny women. I don't want my name on the list. I want the bloody list." Thank you very much. I'm that old that I've got to do my set by my hand, so. I read an article recently in the Sydney Morning Herald that said that we broke a record this year and we sold 1 million vibrators in Australia this year. I thought, wow, 1 million vibrators. What's wrong today? You know? Where's the country going to? There was no vibrators in my day. Women had to do everything by hand, you know. But it does bring a question to mind, and that is, how does a woman have oral sex with a vibrator? And the answer is, she talks to it. "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." And what have we got here? I went to Byron Market the other day, and I ran into a mate. I was a storeholder there for 20 years, and this guy was my age, and I walked up to him to say hello, and he had this beautiful 25-year-old Japanese girlfriend. And I said, "Mate," I said, "how do you do it at your age?" He said, "Oh, she picked me up, and she's a chef." And this is true. I walked up to her and I said, "Oh, excuse me, darling." I said, "Have you ever tried whale?" She said, "Whale, very fatty. Dolphin, very chewy." I said, "A little bit too much information there, thanks, mate." But I wondered to myself, how do you get one of these beautiful young backpackers? So I stood back and I looked at the situation. And I realised that if I want one of these young backpacker chicks, that first thing I have to do is not clean my teeth till they go green, not comb or wash my hair for 6 months. I've got to buy a big nut Mitsubishi van, a white one, full of rust, paint some flowers and a peace sign on it, and park it next to Byron Bay Market, with the sliding door open, sit in the back playing reggae music, and burn some incense and look stoned. Apparently the girls will come flocking to my van. But if I don't find a girlfriend soon, I'm going to have to buy a Mitsubishi van, I tell you. No. I had a bad back since I was 19 years old. I had an accident, and I've tried everything. I've tried chiropractors, all sorts of things, and I even had a pair of them boots where you hang upside down like a bat, you know, for hours. They didn't work. And the other night I was watching late night television, and I think I found the answer to my problem. Apparently I'm wearing the wrong bra, you know. You can laugh, but if I'm wearing the right bra, will not only enhance my figure, but it'll lift my breasts, throw my shoulders back, straighten my spine, no more lower back pain. It's a bloody miracle, I tell you. What about reality television? You know, it's I didn't mind it at first. It started about 12 years ago with Survivor. And we learnt from Survivor that if you want to survive in the modern world, you have to stab everybody else in the back. Just ask the Labor Party, they've got that one down pat. And then came along the cooking shows. The first one was MasterChef. And you learnt from MasterChef that when you went out to a dinner party, you could sit there and tell everybody else what the hostess was doing wrong with the dinner, how she'd stuffed it up. And we'd go home and we'd still have sausages and mash. And I was watching one with my daughter the other day. The worst show I've ever seen on television was called Who Wants to Marry My Son? That was terrible. Should be called Help. Someone married this lazy fuck and get him out of my house. While I was watching it, my daughter said, Dad, I've come up with a new show. She's a pretty bright girl. She ducks to the school and she says, I've got a show and I've taken it to Channel 7 and they're going to put it on. I said, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I said, what's it going to be called? She says, Who Wants to Fuck My Father? Sorry, ladies. Shouldn't be swearing. What have I got here? Oh, well, I look pretty straight, old guy. I've worked pretty hard all my life. As a young boy, I was a street kid in the Cross, and I got involved in drugs, pretty heavily into marijuana, and my friends all said to me, Bob, if you keep smoking marijuana like this, you're going to end up with a very heavy drug habit. And of course I was young, I didn't believe them, I knew what I was doing. But it turned out to be true. Ended up with a really bad coke habit. I drank 30 litres a week. Yeah. And I made a resolution New Year's Eve that I'd try and give up marijuana and give up the coke. And it's pretty hard though, because everywhere you go, there's signs telling you how beautiful it is and what a great flavour, and every second shop's trying to sell you some. But a friend of mine put me on a new drink the other day, and it's not too bad. It's called water. Eh? I don't know how I found it a long time ago. Anyway, that'll do me. Thank you very much. Okay, good night.